June 18, 2023, Father's Day. So, my father, a few days before June 18, 2023, said to me, hey Drew, Andrew, do you want to, do you want to go somewhere on Father's Day? Maybe out to eat or out to see a movie? I said, okay. So, I waited for my father at the front of McDonald's. That was a Sunday, and I saw him, and he's asking me if I want to, go to the movies here in Queens or go to Manhattan to go to Chinatown. I said it's up to you. So he took the train to, he took the E train. We took the E train to Chinatown, but during the time that we spent on the E train traveling to Chinatown, my father had started talking to me. He said to me, Andrew, have you ever been with a woman before? I said, during high school, right? The last time I went to high school was what? June 2012. And this day here is June 18, 2023. And then my father confronted me about my age. He said, "You're 30 years old. You're gonna be 31 years old." When I was 31 years old, that's when me and your mom, got married. And then he puts out his hand halfway. You ever seen a hand? So he puts out his hand, right? And then he starts, wiggle his hand back and forth. He said, "Are you like this to show if I'm straight or homosexual because of an incident that took place when I was, back in the 2000s between me and, when I was a little kid, something happened between me and this teenage boy, teenager, and he thinks that I'm homosexual, and which I'm not because when I was a little kid, I didn't understand that behavior, and I like women." So when my father, you know, talked to me in this way, I said to myself, my father doesn't know any better. He seems to not have the social skills. And in my mind, I'm saying he's socially incompetent. He doesn't have the social skills to understand someone else's life, right? Because his life may not be the same as me. Everybody not have, doesn't experience the same life, right? Just like he was able to have he said that he started working in real life at age 19 years old, was able to make money, right? In real life, I wasn't able to do that in real life. I was self-employed, but it was a short amount of time. And he was able to go out with different women, at a young age. And I didn't have that experience. So his life is not the same, my life is not the same as his, and his life is not the same as mine. So when he confronted me about my age, I think back about, I think back. I said, someone else did this to me. My aunt's boyfriend or husband at the time. His name is Victor. My aunt, her name is Diane. So I remember my other aunt. So me and my mom and sister lived in Shanika's apartment. That's my cousin's apartment, and her brother AJ lived there, and her mother Denise, which is my aunt, and also my mother's sister. We live in the same apartment complex together from October 2nd of 2014 all the way to the first week of March of 2015. So in my mind, right at the time, it was October 2014. I saw the way my aunt treated me and my mother, and she was talking about my behavior, and then me and my mother and sister ran to my aunt's Diane's apartment complex, and I remember having a mentality, right, a mind where I'm self-aware of the way people talk to me, the way they talk, because the way my father spoke to me on June 18, 2023, Father's Day, he's talking in a language that people, in the way where everybody talks to me, they communicate the same way, right? It's a cipher. So this means I'm being targeted. That's what it means. Now I can use the word targeted correctly in a sentence. And I see people on YouTube and also outside of YouTube on Reddit, they use the word targeted. They say, oh, targeted, targeted. They don't use it. They don't use it correctly in a sentence, right? Well, in this case, I can actually show you that I'm being targeted based off the ciphers, and cipher is a message, right? And it seems that the way people think about me are all the same. They all have the same, like I call it. They say they all think alike. All think alike. So when my father said to me that I'm going to be 31 years old, you know, if I've ever been with a woman before, the way he communicates is only in a language where in a language where I understand that there was someone else who spoke to me this way, and that's why I had brought up my aunt's boyfriend's as husband, Victor, in their house, in our apartment complex. I mean, so Victor, back in that was it second week of August. No, this was the second week of October of 2014. He said to me, Andrew, you're 21 years old and you need a job. Knowing that I just moved there. Me and my mom and sister just moved to this, to Tampa, Florida, and started living with our cousin. Started living with my cousin. I mean, back in October 2nd, 2014. We started living there, and I started applying for different jobs. Like I applied for a Cracker Barrel, I applied for Walmart. So I don't understand what you're talking. What's the purpose of him, confronting me about my age? What does age have to do with me getting a job when I know that I'm doing exactly what society is telling me to do? You know, and also what my mom is telling me to do, and also what I'm doing. I came there so I can actually move out of my cousin's apartment complex. I don't want to live with live with them, and by means we're living in the same living room. My aunt, she's snores really loud. My mom snores. It's horrible. They're farting and stuff. It's a terrible, terrible experience. My cousin, she's already making a stinky face because yeah, my aunt keep gossiping about me, saying I smell like sweat, which is not true. She's exaggerating. She just wants to find a way to get me to look like there's something wrong with me, right? My aunt Denise, she's 52 years old at the time. That's my mom's sister. So when when Victor confronted me about my age, I said that's a cipher. It's a message. He's sending this message out to me. I understand this language because there was another person who did this to me, and that was back in May 4th, 2012. May 4th, 2012. So May 4th is a Friday, going on to May 5th, 2012, going on to a Saturday. My father's girlfriend's family, uh, I believe it was her niece. She said to me that I'm 19 years old. I don't even know her. I don't even speak to her, yet she knows my age because that means that my father and his girlfriend gossip about me, right? And at the time, I was in my senior year of high school. I had one month and 2 weeks left for school, and she was telling me that when she was 19 years old, she had kids, she had her own place, car. So this is the type of communication that I receive from people. So this communication is part of a cipher, is a message. Someone who's there with me wouldn't understand this message unless I give them context about how people behave towards me. Like since this dates back to the time I was a little kid in school, right? Like the way I was treated in school by my classmates was weird. They would tell me they would my classmates in what third grade, fourth grade, fifth grade, they would tell me that when I get older, no one wants to be around me. My teachers said that I would not be nobody. My classmates also said the same response. They said I was not going to be nobody. Um, they tell me that I'm ugly. No one wants to be around me. I'm not gonna have a girlfriend. I had one classmate, one female classmate in fourth grade, and also in fifth grade. She was in my same class in fourth grade, Miss Quinones' class, and also Mr. Bata's class in fifth grade. She said to me, when I get older, I'm not gonna have no girlfriend. No girlfriend want to be around me. So no. She said I won't. No, she said to me, no, I won't have no girlfriend. No girls wants to be around me. Yet she was around me, right, telling me this response. So her response is contradicting because she was the one who's around me. She's Guyanese and I'm an African American kid, and she's telling me that I'm ugly. My face is ugly, and no girl will want me, and also no female will want me in the future. It corresponds with the way my father spoke to me on June 18, 2023. And my teachers would tell my mother and also tell my babysitter. Like, I had a teacher named Quinones, and she's Dominican. My babysitter, she's Hispanic, and it was seems to be there's code switching going on here. Code switching, right? Because they know that I don't speak Spanish. The teacher felt comfortable speaking Spanish to my babysitter. Where in this situation, they know that they can keep the communication quiet, right? Why means I wouldn't be able to understand what both of them are saying. That's also part of a cipher. It's a cipher too. It's part of communication because it's this treatment shows that I'm not supposed to be aware. Be aware that I'm experiencing the teacher talking down to me, right? And then until I started figuring out why this teacher is behaving this way. She's telling my babysitter that I don't do my homework when I clearly do my homework every single day. And later on in life, after I graduated high school, I'm being told that I don't want to work. Everybody in my family, gossip about me, saying I don't want to work with people, I don't want to do anything with my life. Even though I just graduated from community college, February 28, 2022, I'm still being told by my family that I never work. Like, for example, my cousin Junie. She said to me on April, she's in her early 70s. My cousin, I haven't seen her since I was 7 years old. Since December 2000, December 7 or 8 years old, December 2000. So on April 5th, 2022. So this is about confronting me about my age. That was a Tuesday. My cousin Junie, I asked my cousin Junie what why did she say that I need to be on disability? She said to me that I should have been on disability a long time ago. So I asked her on April 5th, 2022. She said to me that she instead of giving me an answer, she tells me, "You're 29 years old. You need a roof over your head." So what's so special? My question is, what's so special about me being 29 years old and I need a roof over my head, knowing that any human being at any age could be put in the same predicament I'm put in. Their mom passed away from COVID. It could be a mom passed away from COVID, and they supposed to have a family. The baby's supposed to have a family since they don't have a father near to them or any their father, their mother. The only family that they have is someone that is close by. Maybe the social workers was able to locate their family, and their family is supposed to support the child. But in this case, my situation, right? My mom's friend contacted the family, and they got through. And this is where I ended up meeting my cousins, Junie and Jones. Junie is in her early 70s, and Jones is in her late 60s. And I saw them on February 1st, 2022. That's a Tuesday. Yeah, that's a Tuesday. And they brought my father. They secretly sneaked my father inside the apartment, and I didn't even see him for the last time I saw my father was what, first week of September of 2012, and the last time I interacted with him was in 2012 when I was living in Florida on the phone. And the last time my mom interacted with him was what, September 2014 when he was at living in the Lake Cecile Motel in Kissimmee, Florida. I keep track of the dates. But anyway, uh, yeah, what's so special about me being 29 years old, right? Why she's confronting me about me being, that I need a roof over my head at the age, because I'm 29 years old. Why she had to include the age part for, right? Everybody, any age, everybody at any age needs a roof over their head. And no one should be put in the streets. And then this corresponds with what she said. And I'm talking about age, and then disability and being disabled. This type of treatment still carries on. It's a treatment. It doesn't end. This is the type of behavior I receive from people. And this is one of the reasons why I'm still stuck in the same situation, because of the way people behave towards me and the way they think, their beliefs. It shapes their beliefs. And that's what I talked about back in November 2021 on a social issue paid board study that ended up getting my my Acer Chromebook just completely stopped working. Right, it's gone. It's just blacked. The whole screen is black. Everything just completely stopped working. It seems that the program, I call it the artificial, the multi-agent quantum AI computer, shot my motherboard because of what I get, the information that is distributed on the social issue community, or you could say the paid board community, where I got paid $125 and I still end up purchasing purchasing a new computer. So this corresponds. Now I'm going back to my mom and also my cousin Junie. So let me compare. I usually compare and contrast to help me understand the situation better, right? Because it seems that this is how it corresponds. My father said something about me, not being able to be able, not, if I ever been with women before, and I see how it, throughout my life as a human being, I'm giving you, I'm actually, giving you dates of how I'm being treated. It just dates back to when I was a kid. I'm looking at how my mom, treated. I'm looking at how my mom behaved towards me. Like, for example, we went to the welfare office, and my mom said to the social worker, the social worker asked me a question about me being employed. So my mom brought up uh, Florida, Kissimmee, Florida. She said to the social worker that I never worked. She was doing all the work, and then the social worker said, "Mom, why didn't you help him get a job? Since you had a job." My mom didn't give no response, and I didn't give no response. One of the reasons why is because I'm tired. I have health issues, you know. But I learned that it's not health issues. It's the program draining my brain. I feel like someone's draining my brain. That's how I feel like. I had to go to see a neurologist, and the neurologist couldn't understand why I'm getting these headaches. Yeah, and I start noticing when I get these headaches and also these stomach aches, I feel my brain feels drained. I feel like I can't think. And this has been going on for how many? It's been going on for years. I feel like I'm having a difficult time thinking at times. Right? There's a day in a month where it feels as if someone draining me, and I feel like I get brain fog. And it's happening here since I came back to this. Since I came back to New York City back in March 25th or 24th of 2018. I've been feeling this way. When I was in Florida, I wasn't feeling this way. I wasn't having this feeling, this brain fog feeling, until I came to New York City. But anyway, my mom, couldn't wait to tell the social worker that I never worked a day in my life before. Like I never work. That's the talk. And also the social worker knows my age, right? I was what, 26, 20, 20 what, 26 years old. Now I'm comparing what Junie said. Junie, who's in her late 70s, she said to the legal aid lady at the courthouse, because the reason why I'm going to court is because uh, the landlord said he's going to evict me and my sister out of the apartment, and I'm still going through that process now, the eviction process. It's ridiculous that I have to experience this and keep up with college. My senior year, well, it was supposed to be my senior year of college, but I'm at least 3 credits short from being a senior. I still consider myself as a senior. Um, yeah, so June 27, 2022, my cousin, that was on a Monday. said to the legal aid lady that I never worked a day in my life before. I'm autistic. As soon as the legal aid lady said the words, if I'm currently unemployed, and I was about to give a response back, and my cousin cut me off. And this is a repeat. What I mean by a repeat, this behavior that I've encountered on June 27th, 2022, the Monday, from my cousin, right, Junie, who's in her late 70s, corresponds with my mom from January 2019. They couldn't wait to tell people about how they think about me. They can't wait. They can't wait to tell people about how their beliefs about me. And just like September 10th, 2021, that's the day me and my mom went to the doctor. And as soon as the doctor asked me a question about sex, my mom said to the doctor, he never had a girlfriend. He never been with a woman before. So the response that my mom had made on September 10th, 2021 corresponds with June 18th, 2023, when my father said to me on the train, the E train, if I ever been with a woman before, it corresponds. And I noticed that my mother, right, she's very fixated. It corresponds with September 10th, 2000, and yeah, September 10th, 2021, right? When my mom mentioned to the doctor if that I've never been with a woman before, and she was so fixated. And then the doctor was like, "Wait, miss, please stop talking. Why you both talking? Why you both talking?" I'm telling my mom, "What are you talking about?" And then the doctor saying, why are you both talking at the same time?" My mom was so fixated. She kept talking. She was very talkative, to the doctor about me not having a woman, any woman or any sex. And just like my father on June 18th, 2023, he was so fixated on me, not having any woman. If I ever been with a woman, if I ever got pussy, he said it that way. And then he continues, keep talking, very talkative. They're very fixated. That's what I noticed. What I notice about when people when the program, right, the artificial you could call it the multi-agent quantum AI computers, right, when it wants to deliver this message, and I call it a cryptography key, the thoughts that enables them to actually produce these words to me, so they can communicate the same way. I learned that they're all fixated on saying these messages to me. I call them ciphers. This is a cipher. So if someone was sitting next to me and they were my friend, or or someone that were acquainted with me, they wouldn't understand what my father's saying. I would have to give them context to understand that this, just like I'm giving context now, can make them understand the way I'm situated right now. That way to show people that the way that it's not just me; it's also happening to you too, right? Does the program dictates whether or not you should get a partner or not, and who you know who who you like or who you don't like. It judges you. The AI program judges you, and it judges me because it's not my mom or my father and my cousin Junie thinking this way. It's the program, the management program thinking this way. And the management program receive codes from the software engineers, or you could call them. They're also part. They're part of the managers. Well, they're not really part of the managers, but they're on that level. And it's not just my parents or my relatives. It's also people on the internet very fixated. I noticed that when I say a certain word, like for example, I mentioned that I like Korean woman. This guy, right? This was 2017. He said, Korean woman, they look nice, right?" He was talking weird, like he knows me. But that was the first time I had mentioned that on the support community about Korean woman. It wasn't that I was showing. It wasn't saying. I wasn't saying that I like Korean woman. I was actually saying that I listen to the songs, Korean songs, because I watch EXPC on Twitch, and I watch other South Korean streamers on Twitch. So I talk about it, and the guy was talking weird. He was so fixated on me and Korean. or woman. I pay close attention to it. I see how it corresponds. It's always the message here that I notice from people is that they're saying that I don't want to work. They're saying I don't want a woman. They're thinking that I'm doing it to myself, which is not true. I'm not preventing myself, and I can tell you this again. I'm not preventing myself from having a job or being around women. I'm encountering it. I'm being exposed. I'm exposed. I'm exposed to these situations here. I'm exposed to it, and since I'm exposed to it, I can give context about it. And even though I say I'm exposed to it, right? There's other people who are also put in this situation because the artificial intelligence learns from, it learns to put people in situations. So this means there was another human being who was in my situation, and I had to say that the management program made the person submit to people telling them that there's something wrong with them, right? They can actually believe that they're homosexual and believe that they don't want to work to change their behavior because the purpose of this treatment is to get me to change my behavior. That's it. That's what I learned from the time of the Ambi incident that took place August 27, 2011. That was a Saturday, followed by the weeks after August 27, 2011, where I just received this treatment where people just don't interact with me. Not even my mom. My own mom didn't even interact with me. She left me completely clueless of what's going on. And my father didn't interact with me, even though I was living in the same household with him, with him and also his girlfriend. I was completely clueless of what the hell is going on. What's going on here? And when I started changing my behavior, all of a sudden people wanted to interact with me. They want me to change my behavior. They want me to have an attitude by myself, an attitude towards myself. Like I started believing that it's me doing that. That I know that I was guilty. I'm the guilty person here. That I wanted to hurt my cousin on August 27, 2011. Punch him in the face. I never punched no one in the face, but that's what the management program wants me to believe because that's what the family's telling the cops, the NYPD officers, you know, which is not the case because I was sleeping. They want me to feel depressed. That's how I started understanding artificial mind because that's the objective to make me have an artificial mind, make me really have a mentality, a fake mind where I believe that it's me doing that to myself, or like having a mind where I believe that I'm slow. It wants me to believe that because that's the mentality that I had when I was a kid in school and a teenager. I started believing I was slow in the brain, and I'm not capable of doing anything because after I graduated high school, you know, knowing that I was put into resource room program and special ed, it didn't prepare me for society. It left me and I was left completely clueless on what to do. I didn't have no one to actually guide me. The people who the research room teachers who guided me in school didn't really, you know, they didn't guide me at all. All they teach me, they didn't teach me how to, work with people, become socially dependent with people, because that's how society functions. You have to depend on human beings. What they taught me, they taught me how to be by myself, alone. They taught me how to be a loner. They taught me that most likely I can say they brainwashed me to believe everything that I do is incorrect. Everything that I say is incorrect. My whole way of learning is incorrect. That I'm disabled. That I'm not capable of doing anything for myself. And that's what they're preparing me for when I graduate high school. They're preparing me to be disabled in society, and that's what my family is doing. My family, like for example, my cousin, who on February 5th, 2022, this Saturday, she said I should have been on disability a long time ago because the objective is for me to be disabled. I'm supposed to be disabled. I'm not supposed to be, you know, a normal. I wouldn't even call it normal. I'm not supposed to be a human being that's being able to have a girlfriend or a wife or have my own place. I'm supposed to be a human being recognizing all of my flaws as my own. That it's me doing that. I'm the guilty person. I'm always guilty. There's always something wrong with me. I'm always disabled. I'm always guilty. I'm not supposed to do nothing with my life because they don't want me. Just when I bring up college and I said I graduate college, they're unimpressed. They don't look impressed. You know, they look at me. They're looking at me like they want me to feel extremely bad, and they're looking at that. That's how they perceive me. That's how they perceive me. It's really I couldn't even use the word perceive because they don't even know me. And my sister also used the word perceive, and I said, don't use that word perceive because they don't know anything about me. They're not around me to gather any information about my behavior or my mentality. Don't use the word perceive. It would be hard for them to think this way about me. How is it that they're able to think of me being autistic when they haven't seen me since I was a little kid? And when I was a kid, I didn't show any autism. I never heard no one say that I was autistic. You know, my mom said I was autistic or anything. Then the IEP doesn't say anything about me being autistic. So how would they know how to think this way? Where did this mentality originate from? So when I create these videos, I don't create these videos about myself. I create these videos for people on the internet who are also going through this. Because as I showed before, I showed there was one teenager back in 2010 who was very upset how he was being treated when he was in the resource room. He said that the people, he said that the resource room teachers laughed at him. But in this way, I say they mock him. They mocked him, and that's the same type of treatment I received. So I say, yeah, you know, it would be selfish to say that it would be selfish to say I'm angry because that I'm not the only one who's going through it. There's other people going through it, and it makes me angry to know that they don't have no solution for it. No one can give them advice how to actually make people stop behaving this way towards them. Well, in this case, I have advice. I have advice for people so they can make the program stop making people behave this way. So when the program noticed that the change with the way people behave, the program was going to have a hard time trying to train their how can I put it, reprogram their mental process to actually have these beliefs and this logic and also these the way they communicate overall, the way they apply their mind at the time. They're gonna have a hard time. The AI is gonna have a hard time, creating an artificial mind for them if they become self aware of their action, and that's the purpose of it, is to become self aware of it. There's other human beings who are put in my situation and they're not self aware of it. That's as I said earlier on. They submitted to the management program. The management program dictates you know how they should live, how if even being in a psych ward. If I was to be there in a psych ward too, the people who are put in my situation, they brought them down. They brought their mentality down, and some of them are in prison, some of them in jail, some of them just a lost cause. They really can they don't really have a solution, so they really submitted to it. They're on medication, all drugged up, constantly drugged them. They believe that their family, cares about them when their family doesn't care about them. Their family say, "Oh, we just want to help you. We care about you." It's not them. It's not the family that cares about you. It's the management program. The management program cares about putting you in a situation where they can exploit you. Because, like I said, they're experimenting in everybody's life. I said this before on the support community. They're experimenting on everybody's life and also my life. Because, like I said, um, back in October 2021, right? They're perfecting our DNA. They want to create their utopia, or you could say their civilization. And they're not gonna the managers of the management program is not gonna tell the citizens the truth about death or what this place is or what happened during 9/11 or why coronavirus happened or why these wars are happening or why people are crashing out. They will never say that. They will never tell that to the people, the public, because if they did, like they mentioned to me, post apocalypse.